In this video, we're going to take a look at a shimmering black ink by Diamine Night Sky. Now, as always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. Also, down in the description is a link to the black ink playlist, so if you wanted to see more, you could find that there. I'm an ink guy, and let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. You see how much shine is going on here. We have no feather, spread, halo sheen. We do get spots of shading that occur in the stub, spots of shading that occur in the extra fine, no shading that shows up in the medium. The extra fine is slightly darker than the stub, and the medium is significantly darker than the extra fine. I say it's slightly darker and it looks lighter on camera. That's some of the shimmer. I still try to have it under control. The extra fine took 6 seconds to dry while the medium took 12. Scrubby for both give no color variation, although we do get it in the writing. And a smear test you could likely recover if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then, a Noodler's Ahab with a Fountain Pen Revolution Gold Flex Nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. No bleeding, some minor ghosting. We have no feather, spread, halo sheen. There's no shading that's going on here. This extra fine is looking quite a bit lighter in areas, and that's more the reflection of the sheen than anything else, sheen of the shimmer than anything else. Largely, we have the same tone. The extra fine took 9 seconds to dry, and a medium took 17. Scrubby for both show no color variation. We had none in the writing itself, and a smear test you could not recover if you smeared while you were writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the right was done the way it's supposed to be done. I screwed up in my order, so we're on the right this time. It was a line of ink was put down and it was immediately put into water for 10 to 15 seconds. You see the line of shimmer that stays in place, and interestingly, this black, as it moves up, is really moving very uniformly in tone and gathering at the top. There's the first sign of some resistance. Now, the one on the left was allowed to dry for 10 minutes before it was put into water. Very clearly, you see that shimmer line. You also see a very dark line around it, and it moves up fairly uniformly the whole way. Surprisingly, I would expect some resistance from this ink. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. No feather, spread, halo sheen, some shading in the stub, some shading in the extra fine, no shading in the medium. The extra fine is a little bit lighter than the stub as a tone, and the medium's about the same tone as the stub. Extra fine took 7 seconds to dry and a medium 13. Scrubby for both give no color variation. There is shading, in that writing some. The smear test says you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink could be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, we do see quite a bit of blowout that's occurring, which would cause me not to use this in a note-taking situation, because look at that capital and lowercase h. Looking at this picture as it is on screen, you can see how difficult some of that shimmer is to deal with in pictures and sometimes in reading. Now, water I was very interested in because of the chromatography, and it really showed me what I thought might happen. A lot of it really stayed in place, and pen flush didn't do anything more than water did. it made me a little worried there. I wasn't expecting this of the Diamine inks. 1/3 bleach solutions removing it but discoloring the paper. Now, as I was cleaning the pen, it took quite a bit of water, and I was still having a little bit of problem in that back straw area of the piston filler, not piston, that plunger type filler. That syringe type filler, that back part where the straw goes on the Ahab, getting the last bit of ink out of in there. Now this could be a pen issue as much of an ink, but I did need to use pen flush to get the end of the ink out of that little area. But I think water on the majority is all that would be needed. The next writing sample is done on original crown mill paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shading, no tone variation. The extra fine took 7 seconds to dry and the medium took 11. The scrubby gave us no color variation. We didn't get any in the writing, and the smear test you could not recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, and the realm of normal was 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine's Night Sky has a viscosity of 1.54, so it's a wet ink to move all that shimmer around. If you're interested in how the viscosity test's done and all of that stuff, there's a link to that video down in the description. Now let's take a look at Apica CD notebooks. No bleeding, no ghosting. We have no feather, spread, halo sheen. Zorro got me. Put the mark down. I didn't even see it coming. I mean, you see it right here, but the dude dresses in black. He's a ninja, and he marked my sample, and I don't know if that means he's coming for me. We have no feather spread, halo sheen. We do get shading in the stub. We get a little bit of shading in the extra fine. We even get shading in the medium, performing super well on this paper. The general tone of all three is the same. The extra 5 took 5 seconds. The extra fine took 5 seconds to dry, and the medium took 8 seconds to dry. I'm screwed up because of Zorro. The scrubby for both give no color variation, although it's definitely in the writing. And the smear test, you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine's Night Sky has an average dry time of 11 seconds, making it a faster drying ink. The last writing sample is done on Franklin Christoph paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. We have no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shading at all in this, but I kind of expected that little bit more absorbent paper. All three of them are showing the same tone. The extra fine took 4 seconds to dry, while the medium took 7. The scrubby for both give us no color variation. We get none in the writing, and the smear test you probably could recover if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Night Sky, I'd prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I went with a green ink by Monteverde, their Emerald Green. Now, if you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description is a link to those playlists. So what do I think of this shimmering black ink by Diamine Night Sky? This is like a night sky with a full moon. Dark sky, but bright out. I can't believe that I actually like shimmer inks as much as I do. So be it. Cool is cool. So what nib and pen are going to give the best writing experience with this ink? A broad, wet pen. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video, we're going to take a look at KWZ's Old Gold.